Alright, so this morning I'm heading out to catch some tilapia. Probably the most sustainable fish species on the planet in terms of the speed they grow, the numbers they are available in. They're farmed across the world as a food source, and we're fortunate enough in the Natal area to have hundreds of dams full of good sized tilapia, and those tilapia are actually absolutely delicious. So we're going to head out, target a couple of tilapia. Probably my favorite fishing outside of saltwater fishing, other than fly fishing. So yeah, we're going to grab some worms quickly. So I've got my organic worm farm in the corner here. And there we go, one scoop will do it. And there we go, one scoop of worms. So basically what I use is I actually have the worms there to feed my vegetable garden, which is an organic vegetable garden. Just something small in my garden. Feed the family fresh, wholesome produce. We know where it comes from. We grow it ourselves. I don't put any pesticides in it. That worm wee from the worm farm is my fertilizer or compost. Anyway, time to head out for a fish. Alright, so we're going to continue trying to catch these tilapia. I've actually sorted out a second rod, and overnight some flying ants came out. I've collected some flying ants, so we're going to put a few flying ants out there and some worms and see if we can't get one of these tilapias to jump on. So yeah, let's put a couple of baits out and see what we can catch today. A little bit of a wind blowing, which is normally good in a dam. Okay, so we're going to put earthworms on one of them. Those lovely earthworms from my worm farm. I'm just going to thread that up the hook. One or two worms is enough, and these worms apparently release an enzyme that works almost like a fish pheromone. Let's see if it's true. I know these work very well for all kinds of fish species, for carp, for barbel, tilapia, all kinds of different species of tilapia. Earthworms have been around for years, used as fishing baits in fresh water and even in saltwater, funny enough. There's a little bunch of worms, and they're going to put that out there on a waggler float, and that's just a float that stands upright in the water, and see what we can catch. Get a nice big tilapia hopefully. And then on the second rod, I'm actually going to keep the hook line a little bit shorter and fish closer up to the bank. That rod I've thrown out to a dead tree. Hopefully that works. This one I'm going to keep shorter, just about 1.5 feet. I'm going to put some of these flying ants on. Just put them through their thorax. It's the tough part. I'll probably put 2 of those on. Like that, and the next one through its thorax. So basically from the head down through where the legs are housed, leaving the flavor-filled section like that. And that's just going to dangle under the float, short, close up against the bank, hoping that any of the tilapia that are working the fringes will eat it. The other one I've thrown right next to the sunken dead trees. Let's see if we can get a bite. got a tilapia on. Woohoo! There we go, a beautiful female tilapia, and that ate the flying ants. Can you believe it? That's a beauty. And guess what, that's the perfect pan size, perfect cook size, absolutely ideal tilapia, and extremely sustainable. They're bred across the world actually. They're used in aquaponic systems. They're grown in ponds as food for organizations, and that's a beautiful specimen of a Natal pond tilapia. And this one is going to go in my fish bag, and we're going to fillet that. I'm going to make an absolutely delicious tilapia dish. Okay, here we go. I got a insulated fish bag, and that's going to go in there and in the shade, and I'm going to turn that into a lovely meal just now. Alright, like I said, that one was caught on flying ants. So basically, just to put them on the hook, it's just a flying ant, it's alive. Collected them last night around the lights. It's an excellent freshwater bait. Just through the thorax, use the hard thorax to keep it in place. You need 2, you can put 3 on a hook, and that just beefs it up, just like that. Look for some structure in the dam. They like to hang around sunken trees, grassy verges, undercut banks, inlets and outlets. And once you find them, you generally catch a whole bunch of them. So I'm going to carry on trying. I'm only going to keep 1. I don't need to keep more than 1. And yeah, have some fun. That's what fishing's all about. There we go, there's another one on. Oh, that's a nice one. That's a really nice one. There's another very beautiful female tilapia. The male has got a lot more color on it and bars. That's the female. And those fish keep their babies, their brood, in their mouths while they're raising them, and then they let them free in the reeds. That's why they've got such a good survival rate in dams, because the mother looks after them once they're born, and then leaves them in the area of safety in the reeds of the dam. Beautiful stuff. And this one's going to go back. I'm going to release this one, even though, like I said, sustainability excellent. It's a fish bred for its flesh. There we go. That one's going back in the dam. There we go. Another lovely fish released. I'm going to throw one more throw just to have some fun. Then I'm going to give up and go and cook this beauty. What's really nice about this tilapia fishing is anybody can do it. It's done with a float, a hook and a little split shot and some earthworms. Kids, wives, husbands, anyone can catch a tilapia. And like I said, so sustainable and such a good food source. Pretty much the same size fish, probably out of the same shoal. As you can see, they're plentiful. And this one's going back in the dam once more. Alright, I think that's pretty much enough fishing for today. Got 3 or 4 of those beautiful tilapia. Kept one, released the rest, and yeah, let's head on back to my place and let me cook one of those up for you. I'll catch you just now. Okay, so the tilapia's been in the fridge. I like to leave my fish in the fridge to chill right down before I start filleting it. It's a lot easier to fillet a fish that's chilled. And then I'm going to create a little dish called blackened tilapia. Very flavorful dish. And yeah, so let's get filleting. I've gutted it, so basically I've just taken the guts out, given it a good clean, left the scales on because I'm going to skin it. So let's get going. I'm just going to put together my Havilon filleting knife. It comes with 4 different blades, and this is my filleting blade, so that clips in there, push the button, it slides in, and there's my filleting knife ready to go. Cool. So we're going to basically start at the back here. Okay, right down the back. You can actually feel the knife against the bones. Let's get the point in. You can see how sharp these knives are, they just slide in there. You're going to go right down his backbone. You can actually feel the knife sliding along his backbone. And being nice and cold, the flesh is firmed up. So it's a lot easier to work with when it's firm. There we go, just like that. Exactly the same thing on the other side. Alright, now we're just going to skin it. Okay, as you can see, this is the rib cage. And we're just going to take the knife and we're going to work that rib cage out of there. You can actually put the knife in, turn the blade up slightly, and you can feel it sliding against the bones. I'm going to split it on the bone line. There's a line of bones that runs down the center. And I'm just going to split that fillet down there. So we've got that off, and we're just going to take it and skin that. Slide the knife down there, and now you do the pulling. So you hold the knife still, and you actually pull the fillet through, and that skins it properly. There we go. You can take that bone line out, just a line of bones, you just trim it out. And then same thing with this one, you just slide it in there, and then pull the fillet. Hold the skin, and pull the fillet. And there you have your bottom fillet. No bones at all. The bits and pieces of the fish that are left over that I can use, I'm going to cling film, and I'm going to stick those in my freezer, and I'll turn that into a stock at some stage. And all the useful bits, the rib cage, the backbone, and the head, it's all got a lot of meat in, well, not a lot, but it's got a fair amount of meat in it. And I'm just going to wrap that nice and tightly in cling film, and that's going to go in the freezer. And when I'm ready to make some stock, I'll just take that out the freezer and make stock. That's my little package of stock meat done. Alright, so what we have here is we have a mixture of cumin. It's a tablespoon of cumin, it's a tablespoon of paprika, a tablespoon of brown sugar, a pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper, and a little bit of like a quarter of a teaspoon of garlic powder. So mix that all together, and we just coat the fish with that. The brown sugar caramelizes as you're frying this, and it actually blackens it. Okay, then we have a frying pan with olive oil in it. Let's put a little bit more. And we leave that to get nice and hot. And we're just going to allow the fish in that. As you allow them down, just move them, and that'll stop them from sticking. Next one. Okay, and we're going to leave those going. And then we're going to construct our little salad quickly. Alright, so in front of me here, we're going to quickly construct the salsa. So in front of me here I have mango. It's in season at the moment. Some diced cucumber, spring onion, cilantro or dhania, coriander. We've got many names in this country. Some lemon wedges, some de-seeded red chili, just a quick grating of beetroot, and some nasturtium flowers, more for decoration. You can eat them, they are edible. Okay, let's turn this fish over quickly. If I could tell you how this smells, smells absolutely delicious. And that's cooking away there very nicely. Okay, and we're going to just take all these beautiful flavors we have here and we're just going to slide them into the bowl, minus the... In goes the red pepper, in goes the cucumber diced, in goes the spring onions, the mango, and the rest we're going to keep for last. And that we're just going to give a quick stir through. Alright, so then we're going to take some salt, put salt in there, and some coarsely ground black pepper, and then a squeeze of lemon juice. Squeeze it through your fingers so you can get out all the pips. Give that a good stir. Okay, and as you can see, very vibrant, nice colors, and absolutely delicious. Okay, a little bit of the cilantro, we're just going to keep some of it for decoration purposes, and the rest I'm just going to roughly tear. I'm not going to chop, I'm going to tear it. Even the stems are full of the flavor. That's going to go into the salsa. You can see that. Have a look how it's blackening, and that's where it gets its name from. It's called blackened tilapia, and it's pretty much ready to dish up. Switch off the heat. Okay, here we go. Let's get it out of here. Got to be careful. It's a very delicate flesh, so the fillet will break. I'm just going to put them on the plate in a line. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to put a line of that absolute flavorful, delicious, colorful salsa across the fish like that. And then we're going to take some of that beetroot and just plonk a bit of that on top there. Not much, it's just the color. A little bit of cilantro or dhania in the corner, because we eat with our eyes, remember. There we have an absolutely delicious meal. Okay, and then we're going to finish it off with a lemon wedge or two in the corner here. And how does that look, ladies and gents? I bet you'll eat that freshwater fish, the tilapia, the humble tilapia. There we go, a delicious food created with a very sustainable species, extremely sustainable, absolutely delicious, soft, tender white flesh. You can create delicious dishes with it. The best part is I know exactly where my food has come from. I've caught it in the dam behind me, and it's fresh. It's got zero rubbish in its system, and that's what we create. So guys, if you like it, hit us a little comment below. Go onto our YouTube channel, hit a subscribe, and you'll be learning a lot more about these type of recipes, what to do with our sustainable fish species in South Africa and internationally. There's fish all over the world that are extremely sustainable, that if we start eating, will protect our oceans. Stop eating fish out of a box, start eating fish off your hook. And that's what I've done today.